It is another victory Monday for the Chicago Bears. 4 in a row. I realized this morning that's the first time that's happened since my daughter was born. Hoge Jahns starts right now. We're going to recap everything. Here we go. What is up? Welcome into another Victory Monday. That's 4 in a row, although technically last week was a Victory Tuesday. The day doesn't matter. The point is the Bears are winning football games. Johnsy, good morning.
4 in a row. This is different. This is good. This is great.
For those listening to the podcast version and maybe didn't catch our cold open we do on YouTube, I realized this morning as I was talking to my kids. For my 11-year-old, first time the Bears have won 4 in a row since he was 4 years old. For my 4-year-old, first time they've ever done it since she was born. And
yeah,
she
we're used to
I told her that. She literally, John, she goes, "What the heck?" That was her response.
That's great.
That's good. So, yeah, good Sunday. Blackhawks got a good win last night too. So, it's good to have some winning vibes in Chicago. And we'll see if the Bears can keep it going. Much harder test this weekend coming up in Baltimore, but we have all week to get to that. Welcome in to our live edition on YouTube on Monday mornings as we recap this game. Hello to everybody listening to the podcast as well. Please hit that like button if you're here with us this morning. Make sure you're subscribed. I keep saying this, but we find out every week. We can actually see the statistics, but a lot of you watching live right now aren't actually subscribed to the channel. It's free. It costs $0, and it helps support the show and grow the show. So please, right now, hit that subscribe button however you're watching. We appreciate it, and hit that like button too. Got a lot to get to. Our likes and dislikes, which we do every Monday morning. Your voicemails. Our great producer, Katie Langen, has already turned those around. I'm sure those will be great once again. And make sure you're following all of our social channels at Hoge and Jahns, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Our personal channels as well, at Adam Jahns, at Adam Hoge. Johnsy's got his post-game coverage and his column up at allchgo.com, where you can become a diehard. Did I cover all the bases off the top?
That was pretty good. That was smooth. Pat Norton, our friend from All CHGO, also has a story up on our website detailing the success of the Bears' run game. 222 yards.
Yeah.
Great day.
It's pretty impressive. You know, on Monday mornings, and I shared this in our Slack earlier, John, I get these emails from Sumer Sports. They're really good emails. And everything's like color coded. A lot of green on
green is usually good.
Yeah, a lot of green. I'll tell you what, and this was going to be one of my likes. So actually, I'll just save that for a second. But I like that there's a lot of green on here.
You said I like.
Yeah, and there's a lot of red for the New Orleans offense, which means good things for the Bears defense. So overall, pretty impressive. So can I cover one thing off the top that has nothing to do with the Bears? Because this stunned me, and maybe I'm missing it in the comments now that we're doing a live show.
Okay.
But that Taylor Swift album's been behind me for like 3 straight shows, 2 radio hits, one I did in New Orleans last week, and not
honestly,
a single
it's the first
person
time I've noticed it.
No one has. I did it as a bit. I'm like, who's gonna notice that I put the Taylor Swift album behind me? Nobody has. It's crazy.
I didn't know you had that.
I thought for sure when I went on the score on Friday that somebody would say something like Layla or something. Nobody. I mean, even Grody. Come on, Grody. I thought Grody would. No, nobody. Okay.
He's judging your material items behind you.
Well, I mean,
did you
a lot of thought?
Did you literally listen to that album? Is that one of your go-to albums? Okay.
I wouldn't call it one of my go-to albums, but I have a 4-year-old daughter. There was lots of listening to the Taylor Swift album. when it came out. Yeah, and this is a judge-free. I don't even care if you do judge it, Kevin, but doesn't matter to me.
There's definitely people judging.
I'm a Swiftie. I'm a Taylor Swiftie and a DeAndre Swiftie. How about that? With the Bears running game, DeAndre Swift back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. Johns. I meant to look that up. I don't know when the last time he did that is, but it's big time.
Monday morning quarterback, more like Monday morning running back. Just an outstanding performance by. Well, let's start up front. Can we give that touchdown run? Give Theo Benedict credit. Give that offensive line credit. Give Durham Smythe, Colston Loveland credit. The blocking has been exceptional, especially this week. I thought they were good in Washington, but you're seeing all the obsessive hard work of Ben Johnson come to fruition. I'm getting to one of my likes right now, but how could you not be excited by what the run game is doing for the Bears right now?
Yeah, there were two things watching the game yesterday in the studio that it just, when you're watching football, it gives you good feeling when on any given play you can run the ball forward. That is just, I can't imagine what that feeling, because I've never called offensive plays, but I can't imagine what that feeling is like for an offensive play caller. When you have that at your disposal, when you you got that running game in the bag, you're rolling, that you can just hand the ball off and know that you're going to get, at minimum 3 yards, but probably the 4 you want, and potentially hit some, bigger home runs. That's got to be a good feeling. But even for somebody just watching the game, it just changes the whole dynamic, your confidence level of what's going on. And then I turned to Lance Briggs at one point in the game too, and I said, Lance, this game right here reminds me back when you guys were playing, and it felt like you could get a takeaway on any given defensive snap too. On any given play, it felt like yesterday the Bears were going to take the ball away.
The Bears have played like that for 4 consecutive weeks now, where you could feel the energy on defense, where you feel the takeaway coming. And I haven't covered a team where I felt like that since 2018, where in any given play, you're expecting a big play from someone on defense. And I think you're starting to see more of it from the guys up front, like Montez Sweat. He had his best game, I thought, this season under Dennis Allen. Started with that sack strip early on. He had it was the 4th down stop. He made that tackle. That is unbelievably positive going forward for the Bears to get one of their best players, someone they believe is one of their best players, making splash plays like that.
Am I allowed to, can we do a Hoge Jahns victory lap real quick? Is that acceptable?
Okay. What are you going?
On the defense? Well, you and I have been writing this insider analysis column all season. One of the many reasons you guys should become a diehard at allchgo.com. Comes out on Wednesday mornings. And every week we look at a little film study. We do a little bit of Hoge Jahns back and forth, like we used to do all the way back in the day when Johnsy was still writing for the Sun-Times.
Podcast in print, it used to be called.
That's right. I got it right here in my office. One of them. The only problem with it is Mike Glennon is on the photo.
That's a long time ago.
But so this was back, our insider analysis column, after the Bears gave up 52 points to the Detroit Lions in week 2. And in our back and forth, I wrote this, Johns. I said, I wonder if this season ends up being like the 2023 Denver Broncos. They had Vance Joseph, a former head coach and established defensive coordinator, like Dennis Allen, come back to Denver under an offensive head coach in Sean Payton, offensive head coach Ben Johnson. And that defense went through some growing pains with a lack of talent. Remember when the Broncos gave up 70 points to the Dolphins that season? The following week, they did enough in the second half against the Bears to allow Russell Wilson to lead a big comeback. And 4 weeks later, they held Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to just 9 points. Statistically, the 2023 Broncos weren't necessarily a good defense, but with good coaching, enough was done to eventually go on a 5-game winning streak. Bears currently on a 4-game winning streak that included wins over 4 playoff teams. By the following season, the Broncos had one of the best defenses in the league. Just a lot of parallels. And that was probably a leap at the time after giving up 52 points. But the point at the time was a lot of guys were out and you knew they could get healthier. And Dennis Allen's a good freaking coach. He just is. So it just, and I still think there's, to keep this momentum up. And I know I said this last week and they did it again. To grab 15 takeaways in 4 weeks, that's a hard pace. That being said, they only took the ball away once in the first 2 weeks of the season. And right now, the Bears lead the league in takeaways. So that overall, that they could end up continuing to lead the league in takeaways over the course of the season, even if it's not to, this high rate.
I think we're always guilty of like talking too much about what quarterback injuries mean to teams. And like there is no equal to replacing your starting quarterback. There isn't, unless you're the Bengals and somehow you trade for Joe Flacco. But that's a different story, one that seems to infuriate people in Pittsburgh. But anyway, yeah. I think we're all guilty of sometimes underrating the impact of injuries, like elsewhere. Offensive line gets discussed a bit, but like on defense in particular, like early on when the Bears are without Kyler Gordon, when they're without Jalen Johnson, when they're without TJ Edwards, Grady Jarrett's knee is being problematic. You have young players trying to find their way in this defensive system and veteran players trying to learn what Dennis Allen wants to do on game days. Like all of that was very much overlooked and underrated just in terms of what the impact could be early on for that defense. And now I think you're starting to see things click. You're getting healthier with TJ Edwards coming back, Kyler Gordon coming back. You're seeing veteran players like Kevin Byard have outstanding weeks, game after game, like producing in this defense. Jaquan Brisker could be part of that conversation too. Tremaine Edmonds, another outstanding game from him at the weak side linebacker spot. So I think maybe that's on us, maybe that's on everybody, but the Bears getting healthier on defense, and I think you have players learning what Dennis Allen wants to do on game days. Like this is all coming together for him now on game days.
Yeah. All right. Should we get into our likes and dislikes?
Sure.
I feel like we already have a little bit.
There's a lot to like.
There is a lot to like. I do have actually a couple dislikes, so they don't really have to do with the Bears. I mean, they kind of do.
Oh, I got one with the Bears.
Okay, there we go. It is time for our likes and dislikes, brought to you by the amazing RC Cola. RC Cola is not a soft drink, just damn good cola. Just like the Bears defense is not a soft defense. It's just a damn good defense right now.
Let me give you a little tip about the Bears press box. On the visiting side, they actually have cans of RC Cola as opposed to the fountain drink.
Well, that is a long walk through.
That's usually where I do my CHGO pregame hits. So I've taken advantage of the cans of sugar-free RC Cola.
Just get on over there.
Yeah.
The sugar-free version is good. Just get over there, grab a RC, sit down with us on the pregame.
And the visiting media needs to hear me, give some analysis to you guys live from the press box as opposed to the home side.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to start with this, and I actually just saw it in the comments, but I was going to say it anyway, so it was a good comment. I also loved Dennis Allen's post-game speech in the locker room. Ben Johnson gave him the game ball. Great performance by the defense against his former team, and Dennis Allen on the spot just saying, "Hey, look, sometimes you're not good enough."
You want me to read it?
Oh, you got it? Yeah, go for it.
I had it in my column this morning. Sometimes the good Lord just has a freaking plan for you that you don't know about. And sometimes you ain't good enough, and this is awesome. You ain't good enough for somewhere else. That's perfectly fine. I love being here, and I love being with this group of guys. But 4 ain't enough. 4 ain't enough. We're moving on to the next one. Then he breaks them down even further.
All ball, all the time. But, I mean, look, he did a good job downplaying it. Mike Vrabel was in a similar spot this week, too, going back to Tennessee. He did the same thing. And then, the game's over, and Stephon Diggs is doing an interview, and he's like, yeah, we know this is a big one for him. And we were playing for him.
So like Kevin Byard said in the locker room after the game.
I get why the coaches do it and they downplay it publicly, but this stuff matters, especially when you're fired by a team. That makes it even sweeter. So good for Dennis Allen, who's been doing a great job with this team. So I definitely liked the post-game speech.
I really like this, that Ben Johnson went into the bye week obsessed with finding solutions for his run game. And the Bears come out of the bye week, and in their next 2 games, they run for 367 yards. 367. 67, get it? Just
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Okay, quick. Can I don't know if I should be admitting this, but I literally did not know what that thing was.
Come on, dude.
No. The Bears did a video last week, like a social media video. And I was like, all right, I've seen this, but I didn't bother to Google it and understand it. And then my nephew was in town and James and Weston, they just were doing it all weekend. And I'm like, I'm glad I looked up what this was because I had no idea.
It's, yeah.
And it doesn't mean anything, right?
It really doesn't. No.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining how frustrated people get trying to figure it out.
Yeah, well, that's on them because all you have to do is what I did.
It's also everyone's doing it
Google
for their touchdown celebrations too now.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Anyway, Talmanon guy did not do the 6-7 to celebrate his touchdown run. He spun the ball and he's gonna give the football to his mother, but the obsessiveness, I appreciate that. Which head coach have we ever heard? How many head coaches, offensive coordinators, have you ever heard just be so adamant about fixing the run game the way the Ben Johnson is?
Mm-hmm.
Finds his answers in the bye week, comes out, runs the ball well against the Washington Commanders, and then tops that with 222 yards against the New Orleans Saints at home. I love it.
Yeah. One of my dislikes is that the Commanders went on the road and got smoked. And so there is this world where you just have a little bit of doubt in the back of your head going, all right, but the last 3 wins were, and did you see what the Raiders did yesterday? I mean, they are horrible offensively. They had 3 first downs, Johns. So the Raiders are a mess. The Commanders are kind of actually what I thought they were before the season, which was, a regression candidate. And of course, the Saints are what we said all week. They're a bad team that plays hard and will not go away, and they proved that yesterday. So I guess that's not really a knock on the Bears at all. It's just I dislike that we still go into a game against the Ravens, and that is a real thing where you're like, but the last 3 teams they played aren't that great. Now, on the other hand, I like that the team that killed the Commanders was the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't know if you've been following Dak Prescott has been unbelievable this year. And I think that they've scored oh, no, this is what it was. I don't think he's turned the ball over since the Bears game. I think that's what I saw. And yet that was the start of the takeaway run for the Bears. So that, on the other hand, lends some legitimacy because the Cowboys might be the Cowboys, but their offense is for real. And they're not actually turning the ball over a ton except when they played the Bears, and they did. So okay. So on the other hand, on the other side of that dislike, that is a like, because and sometimes you get in the weeds too much on this stuff with comparing games and teams and stuff, but it does matter to some extent.
I know the Commanders are dealing with injuries. That's out there. And then with the Raiders, I think you had outstanding performances by one of the best young running backs coming into the league in Ashton Genty, and one of the premier pass rushers in Max Crosby to contend with. He was an unbelievable monster in that first half against the Bears. And they had Theo Benedict and Ozzie Chipotle playing in that game. So some context, I think, is always needed from week to week. And maybe
That's
the Bears broke the Raiders.
Yeah, maybe. That's another dislike, though, because Ashton Genty, since that, they still can't figure out how to use him. But against the Bears.
But that's on the Raiders. And since then, the Bears'
Yeah,
run defense.
Yeah, they've been better.
Process. Here's another like. I got a lot of likes. I'll get to my dislikes later. I really like how Kevin Byard is playing football right now.
Yeah.
Like early on, it was the physicality, like filling alleys, hard hits along the sidelines, like being an imposing physical defender in the secondary. And now he's taking the ball away. Should have had 2 interceptions yesterday, ran into Nashawn Wright. It happens. But he's a ball hawk now. He's 32 years old, and he's flying around like he's in his mid to late 20s with all the experience that he has.
But here's the cool thing. He's always been a ball hawk. He leads the league in interceptions since he came into the league in 2016. Yeah. That is an incredible stat to hang your hat on. Like, since I came into this league, I lead the league in interceptions. That's something that's, and it should be, and that's 33 interceptions now. It should be 34.
I think the only active player with more is Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
The Viking safety.
Right. And he's been in the league longer. So, no, it's cool. It's cool, especially because, right there with Tyreek Stevenson early in the season, those first couple games, Byard looked like he was struggling. And at his age, you start to go, is he a declining veteran? Well, he's answered that emphatically no. Last 4 games. So, yeah, definitely like that. My next dislike, though, Johns, is something I forgot to ask you on the post game yesterday. But Tyreek Stevenson and Cole Kmet going out. Did you happen to see either of them post game or any indication on the severity of the?
I saw Cole leave the locker room early. Looked a bit uncomfortable, but it wasn't like he was in a wheelchair or anything like that. He was walking off under his own power, leaving the locker room under his own power. But that was like, where did it happen? I don't know. Usually, same with Tyreek Stevenson. Which play did the injury occur on?
Yeah, so I went back and I still got to look at the tape closer, but last night I didn't see, he had a hit on the sidelines, but
this is Stevenson,
but he didn't seem to wince or grab anything. And then I think he finished the half, and then he was all of a sudden ruled out. Well, he wasn't ruled out, but he's ruled doubtful after halftime, right?
Correct.
So so that actually makes me feel better that I didn't miss something where he obviously injured his shoulder badly. But it's still concerning that he didn't come back. And then with Cole, the only thing I saw in my rewatch last night was I didn't like how he got up. You remember his sliding catch early in the game where he went down as he caught it? He seemed like he was a little ginger getting up there, like something, and he went straight to the sideline. So I'm wondering if maybe he was already sort of dealing with a back thing and that aggravated it, and then he tried to play through it, and then it just got to the point where he wasn't able to finish the game. That's what's concerning to me, because it takes a lot to get Cole Kmet off the field. He's just one of those players that he plays through everything. So the fact that it was enough that he didn't go back in, you don't like that.
It's never a good sign when the immediate diagnosis is doubtful.
Right.
Not good.
That being said, I don't know that either of these seem like, catastrophic injuries.
We'll have to find out. Find out more later today. Ben Johnson is speaking at 3 p.m. Chicago time. It is 9:25 here in Chicago. So to go off that, I'm positive this morning. I like how Colson Loveland performed as a blocker, specifically on that touchdown run.
Yeah.
Where he gets scrappy. He gets into it. And the defender did not like it whatsoever. It's funny. I was talking to him after the game about that, and he was chuckling. Oh, he did not like that at all. He
kind of got pancaked at the end.
He got pancaked, and they got into it a little bit. But hey, your guys.
He won the rep.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. He won the rep.
He won the rep.
But for that being a concern of his on his draft evaluation, to see him block this week and in previous week, he's getting better at it. He's getting good at it. So it's another like for a young player who I think we've been scrutinizing for different reasons because Tyler Warren's probably going off in Indianapolis. That's part of the conversation here. But with Cole Kmet dealing with his back injury and the ground game working, Colston Loveland, I thought, had another step forward in terms of his blocking.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a very good sign because they need to get him going. Even if it's just for optics and what Tyler Warren continues to do in Indianapolis. But I mean, we've said it a million times. We still like Colston Loveland. He's been dealing with some injuries. They got to get him going. I thought he had a good game yesterday. And even that third down reception, right, or fourth down, I should say. They went for it on fourth down and to ice the game. Nice little route. Caught the ball, went down, game over. Well, good execution from the quarterback. Good execution from Colston Loveland there. That was good. My next Johns, because I think we can get into some of the quarterback play and find some dislikes in there. But I like that when I got the email from Sumer Sports this morning, the Bears' EPA per dropback was still positive. It was still a positive number.
That surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, doesn't it?
I'll be honest. Yeah.
That doesn't it a little bit. But I think, and Caleb got into this on the post game yesterday. I loved his post game press conference yesterday. It was honest. It was, here's a small thing that stood out to me that I like. Sometimes you can win a game, and when a player has a bad individual performance, you could see they're kind of not happy. And I thought Caleb was both honest about his shortcomings in the game yesterday, but was still in a good mood and clearly happy they won the football game. You know what I mean? And because that matters. You should still be happy when you win an NFL game, even if you didn't play well. So I thought that was a good sign. But in that press conference, he talked about this, Johns. He said he's really frustrated with his accuracy on the move right now. And he mentioned that earlier in the week as well. And part of the reason why he's frustrated with it is because it's something he usually does really, really well. He did it well last year. He did it well at USC. And right now, what I don't like is that his passing percentage over expectation was negative 10.3. So that still shows you he was inaccurate yesterday. But his point was that most of that was on the run, throws he feels like he usually makes, throws that I feel like he usually makes. And I think that all adds up to when I still see a positive EPA on the drop back, when he wasn't on the run, when he was sitting in the pocket, going through his progressions, he was still effective. He was still good, despite the fact that includes his interception as one of those plays. Because on that one, he was in the pocket. He stared down Rome Odunze. He was still late going to Rome Odunze. And I think he probably had DJ Moore on the opposite side if he had actually gone through his progressions. And I think he had the check down. So despite it not being perfect and him getting the interception in a weird roundabout way, it wasn't his best game, but we're the things that we still need him to make strides in and continue to develop in the pocket with his timing, with his base, with his accuracy from the pocket. I actually think some of that was still good in what was overall not a great game for Caleb Williams.
So to illustrate your point, watch how he celebrates the touchdowns that the Bears scored. There's even a funny interaction where he kind of side jumps into Joe Tooney's arms a little bit that people are talking about online. So you see the emotion, you see the happiness. You see that in the locker room after the game in the Bears postgame videos. He's going around, literally going up to the defensive players and, hugging them, handshakes. All that stuff is happening in the locker room. You see the happiness, you see the smiles. But then to further illustrate your point, then you hear him talk about himself after the game, clearly not happy with the way he played. To your point, watching from the press box and seeing his receivers come open on these play action plays, he did feel a tick late. Like, I think that completion that Cole Kmet was kind of behind him, wasn't it? It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it was. I probably would not have gave him a negative grade on it, but it was. You could have let him a little bit more.
And then you see these outstanding throws where his arm strength is cutting that ball straight through the wind, like on these quick throws and these quick reads, the quick game stuff that we know that Ben Johnson wants as part of this offense. And you see the chemistry with Roma Dunze and some of the other receivers come out in the field there. But then you see him hold the ball sometimes, which is, I don't know. Since we're
like the sack, 1 sack, and there was a good comment there. I just saw that he only took 1 sack, so that helps with EPA. It's a good point because it's all about how many points you're adding per play, right? But the sack, he did hold the ball, and I thought he had maybe 3 guys open,
right,
play, including his check down.
I'm willing to bet that Ben Johnson points a few of these things out to him when he's scrambling around. You see these wild plays. They don't have to be wild. I think there were some quick completions that were there for Caleb that we'll see on film. You probably saw them already. Yeah. While we're on this topic, I really don't like that we're still talking about cadence. 6 weeks, 7 weeks into this, 6 games into this. I don't like that Drew Dahlman is accepting responsibility for whatever the cadence issues were. And I don't like that Caleb Williams is saying the same thing, that he wants all the blame for the cadence issues. That's a problem. It's the pre-snap stuff. So you see the tight ends jumping off sides. You see Theo Benedict. That's all rooted in cadence, everybody. It is. And I don't like that we're continuing to talk about this on October 20th. Like, this is a problem. It looked like it was fixed. Then Kevin Fishbane had to ask Ben Johnson about it, and it came to life again on the field. I'm joking here, but I wonder if Ben gives Kevin a hard time later this week. But I don't like that we're talking about cadence again. Do you?
No. It seemed like it had been fixed, but here's the thing: the Bears hadn't played a home game in a month. And you use different cadences and silent counts when you're on the road.
True.
So I don't know if it's just they were rusty, because if we follow the tracking on this, remember, week 1 it was a problem against the Vikings at home in a very loud environment for at home that shouldn't affect your offense, right? Week 2 they go on the road to Detroit where it is loud in an inside building, and they went to a silent count. And things were better when it came to that. Week 3, they come back home, and they seem to have it figured out against the Dallas Cowboys. There were not, if I'm remembering right, I don't think there was a ton of issues there. Certainly better than week 1. But then they had road game, bye-week road game, and basically a month went by before they returned to Soldier Field yesterday. And now here they go again. They got 2 more road games in a row. So it's kind of a weird schedule.
Yeah.
But it's also like making excuses for something that shouldn't be a problem. This should be an advantage for you at home.
It was Press Taylor who told me, there's 2 advantages the offense has. You know where the ball's going, and you know when the ball's going to be snapped. And you would hate to lose one of those advantages that you have against the defense.
Well, and when the guy is... Okay, so think about what you just said. You know when the ball is getting snapped. Except yesterday, on multiple occasions, the guy snapping the ball didn't know when the ball was being snapped.
I think
that's got to get fixed, man. And I want to be careful when I'm saying that, because I think it's on Caleb. I think it's more on the quarterback than it is the center.
When it's this widespread. And this is where you have to give Caleb some credit. Like, if you want me to read his answer right now, it's a long one, but he puts this a lot on himself, just like Drew Dahlman did in the locker room, at the podium, at the lectern. It was Caleb Williams doing the same thing, even with the more elongated answer about it. I'm not going to read it all, but it is frustrating just because we put so much time and energy into it, but I wouldn't say I put that on anybody. I could take that blame just because it comes down to cadence. It comes down to everybody being on one page and having everybody calm and understanding we're going to go execute the play. We just need to snap the ball at the right time and be able to hit the plays at the right time. So there's more there too.
All right. We do need to hit our first break. Do you have more?
I do have more.
Okay. Well, we can keep going with it after our break here.
Let's do our break.
But we do have to thank a couple sponsors. So stay with us. We got more likes and dislikes coming up, plus your voicemails from yesterday's win over the Saints. But first, hey, our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary are here to elevate your football season. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from, with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you're at in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have a spot as far south as Champaign, as far north as South Beloit. They got you covered in the city, Wrigleyville, River North. Stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff. Or you can just visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day. Again, that's sunnyside.shop. And that will include 50% off your first 3 online purchases. 50% off. To get that, just enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. And if you're already a returning customer, use code CHGO50. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
And whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitted beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. There's even a very cool Hoge Jahns version of a Branded Bills hat that my guy Adam is holding up right now. It's our intro hat. Very cool.
It's a great hat.
Love seeing the pictures that everybody sends us. So keep sending them over. We will share them on Twitter. Looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd? Branded Bills has you covered with the best custom headwear. Start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need. They have a partnership with 40 colleges, including 10 Big Ten schools, as a part of their campus collection. Ohio State, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan State, Penn State, Purdue, and USC.
Remember when there were actually 10 teams in the Big Ten?
Oh, yeah. Head to brandonbills.com and use code BBCHGO for 15% off your first order. That's BBCHGO for 15% off your first order.
All right. Go buy those Hoge Jahns hats. They're still available. allchgo.com. Go to the merch part of it. I think you can also just do store.allcitynetwork.com. The Hoge Jahns collection. Those hats are great. Appreciate everybody buying them. And we have more coming. More merch.
All right. I got a big dislike.
Okay.
Can't we stop throwing penalties in every hard hit that happens on a football field? I don't just dislike it. I hate it. If it's an illegal hit and there's like very clear contact to the head, I get it. But if it's like debatable in your mind, Mr. Official, Mr. Referee, let them sort it out after and find the player if it happens. The Jaquan Brisker roughing the passer penalty, the Kyler Gordon hit, and Alvin Kamara. I don't like that penalties became a conversation point again in this game. And I know like it works both ways and eventually evens out. But this is 2 games in a row where you had the Bears in a position where they had to overcome debatable penalties. And let's go to the offensive side. That was not offensive pass interference by Colson Love. He did absolutely nothing.
No, he actually did exactly what he's taught to do, what he's coached to do. And if the ball had been thrown his way, there's no OPI. It's just him catching a pass thrown to him that he's looking for, which is the whole thing. You turn around and you what's happening here, Johns, and what bothers me, if it's high school football, I get it. When it's the NFL, and this is your job, I cannot stand it when referees are calling what they think they see versus what they know they see. And what I mean by that is they think they saw Colson Loveland knock that guy down, when in reality, he's turning around looking at his quarterback with his hands out to possibly receive a pass, and the defender runs into him. So you saw, probably out of the corner of your eye, you saw a defender fall down, and it is a design pick play, but they ran it legally. And so you see the pick play, you saw the guy fall down. You didn't actually see what Colson Loveland did. You thought you saw it, so you throw a flag. That infuriates me because that's not what you're taught to do. I get it sometimes at the high school level or even in college football where you see a big hit and you're like, oh, that must be a penalty just because of how hard it was. And the same thing happened on that Kyler Gordon play later in the game. It looked like a big hit. And honestly, I would probably have a teaching point for Kyler and just say you could probably wrap that guy up and still hit him pretty hard, where he did kind of launch himself into him. But if you don't hit him in the head, it's not a penalty. And he hit him in the shoulder. And it shouldn't be a penalty for hitting a guy in football too hard in the shoulder, especially in the NFL. So it's just really frustrating. And I think they need to change it's not just the Bears game. The roughing the passer rule it's jumped the shark. This is the new catch, no catch thing. And by the way, there was one of those yesterday too, despite them having cleaned up that rule. But do you know in the NHL, they actually have put in a common sense clause into the rule book? I love that. Can we just have some common sense sometimes? Because if I understand why we're trying to protect the quarterbacks from getting actually hit with forcible contact, even if it's from a hand or a fist from a defender in the head. But when a defender makes a great play, beats his offensive lineman, wins his rep, gets to the quarterback's arm, and hits him either the ball or the throwing arm, and then happens to follow through and graze the helmet, and that's a penalty, then just take the freaking helmets off the quarterbacks. They don't need them. It's ridiculous. Can we just have some common sense? There should be an exception to that rule that if you hit the quarterback's arm or the ball first, it wipes out. It's kind of like a tipped pass before a pass interference. It wipes out the pass interference because the ball got tipped. It should be that simple. Because we're just punishing good plays defensively, and that's not fair. That's not fair.
You're changing football games.
Yes,
you're inserting. There was a while there where the Saints' best offensive play was a Chicago Bears penalty,
and it was a bad call.
That's why I like the resilience of the Bears defense again. Yes, they gave up there's two bad touchdown drives that the Saints scored on, right? The one at the end of the first half, that's bad. You had a blitz, protection picked it up, and Chris Olave beats Tyreek Stevenson, and he makes a great tackle from preventing a touchdown there, but momentum, the field position, everything shifts in the Saints' favor. But like at least the Brisker penalty, roughing the passer, like a few plays after that, Deshaun Wright undercuts a dig route. I'm sure there's some great film study that led to that. And the Bears were able to respond with another takeaway to end that possession. Like even later in the game, the Saints cut it to 2014. Like the possession after that, you had Kevin Byard, jumping on an errant deep ball from Spencer Rattler. Those are things that I think are extremely encouraging for a Bears defense that seems to be up against it, from the opposing offense and the officials right now.
Yep. All right. I did see we have a big super chat, although we might have to do a conversion rate on the Mexican $100. But Joshua Maya, Victory Monday. Regards from your friend in Mexico. See you in San Francisco.
Oh,
bear it out.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Josh. Big time super chat. We appreciate it. Let's see what that actually converts to.
It doesn't matter. Very generous, Josh.
Okay. Shav.
I like Josh.
Yeah, I like Josh. There you go. Shav, $2 without penalties. Bears beat the commies like Cowboys.
It's 2 weeks in a row we're having this conversation about penalties that are, call them debatable, If you want, that's probably putting it kindly. People didn't like that I described the offensive pass interference call on Colson Loveland as very debatable. Yes, I know it's a bad call, everybody. But here we are debating the merits of such calls again.
Yeah, and there was some the end of that Broncos Giants game yesterday. There was a roughing the passer they called that I thought was really weak when they just hit Jackson Dart like right after he let go of the ball on the run. So I hate that we keep talking about it, and it seems like it should be better, but it's back-to-back weeks where it's been a problem. All right.
Quickly before the voicemails, I like that the Bears got Kyle Monangai going. I like that Montez Sweat had his best game thus far with the Bears this season under Dennis Allen. I like Dennis Allen's game plan early on, blitzing Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Tremaine Edmonds. They all had sacks. I love the aggressiveness there. And I like how Jake Moody and the Bears specialists, Torrey Taylor and Scott Daly, handle another soggy, windy game, and this time it's Soldier Field.
Yeah. This Jake Moody thing continues to be interesting. And now that he's been elevated for 2 games, he would have to be signed to the 53 to kick next week if he has to. So
it's interesting. It's very interesting.
It's also interesting that he's on the practice squad. Another team could sign him at any given point. Now it's not like he has to sign with them, but to continue to monitor this with Cairo's injury, how bad it is. And meanwhile, Jake Moody's making his kicks. So interesting situation. No question about it. All right. We got to take one more break before we get to our voicemails. John, do you want to take the first one here on this one?
Hold on. Let me pull it up.
Better your way. But we do have your voicemails coming up and our final thoughts. Appreciate everybody being here. Again, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button too. If there's any more supers that you guys want to jump in there, super chats, we will get to those before we close out as well. But thanks to Josh and Shab for throwing those supers in there as well. We got voicemails coming up, but first,
fall's here. Crisp football air is here. We got the bonfires going. But if you're like most guys, you're still putting in the hard work. And yeah, that means sweat. Don't let body odor sideline you. Hey, there is a couple media members who may have to take us up on this offer.
Oh, no.
Those scrums were tight yesterday in the locker room. Guys.
Mando, send us some product to hand out in the Bears press box. Apparently that's a thing.
Yes, we will get on top of that. Yeah. Oof. I'm not naming names, but it could help. Mando deodorant plus sweat control. This isn't just another cover up. Mando is 1 stick, 2 jobs, powerful odor and sweat control. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code CHGO at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and say hello to long-lasting freshness.
And if you want to feel organized and confident in your finances, please go check out Monarch Money. It's a great product. I use it. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. The way it works is you spend a little bit of time when you sign up. You get all of your accounts inputted, your investment accounts, Roth IRAs, whatever you got, 401ks, on top of just your bank accounts, and it'll track what you're worth. And what I really like it for is just the budgeting aspect of it. You can categorize everything. My son's playing hockey now, so now we got a hockey budget we got to keep track of. All of those little things. It's why Monarch Money was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code CHGO. All right, let's get to your voicemails. Katie turning these around. Again, the voicemail line is 224-725-3046. Write that down, 224-725-3046. Call in before, during, after the game, as so many of you do. We appreciate it very, very much. We've been doing this for years. Always love hearing your voicemails, win or lose, but this is 4 winning voicemail editions in a row. Let's hear them.
Hello?
Do you know who this is?
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
The Hoge Jahns voicemail. The Hoge Jahns voicemail line.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep.
Got any questions or comments about the Bears? Give the guys a call before, after, or even during the game.
Go Bears!
Hoge Jahns, Bob Dabrowski here, calling in live from Soldier Field. Boys, we had a riveting first quarter here at the lakefront. The Bears are up 6-0, pitching another shutout as expected. The offense has got to start to do something here. Get more than 6 points, turn these threes into 7. Let's go, boys. Not worried yet, but we got to get some more points on the board. Chicago Bears, bear down, revenge game. Caleb Williams versus his arch enemy from college. Let's go, Bears. Get jacked up. Chicago Bears, bear down.
Man, I think Swift kept the receipts from all his haters. He is running north and south with strength and purpose today. Keep it up, man. Bear down.
I hate being this guy. I hate complaining like this. But man, what is happening to this game when any time a collision happens or some hand touching happens, I'm holding my breath like, oh, go, here comes the flag. Here comes everybody's favorite player, the ref.
Caleb it's only halftime, but Caleb just does not look sharp today. I don't know if it's the short week or what's going on, but definitely looks off. Really hope to see that get cleaned up in the second half.
The Bears are winning 27 here at halftime, but holy crap, when is Ben going to get his head out of his ass and figure out sometimes football just needs to be football. Man up, run the ball, run the clock out, stop being cutesy little boy.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
It's a real life, it's just fantasy, caught in a landslide,
oh, no
escape from Chicago's G. Hey guys, it's Mama Bear and some special guests. Bear down!
We're up 20-7 at half. And somehow I feel disappointed. I guess that's a good thing. But also this is weird. Go Bears.
I read this the other day. It couldn't be more true. Waking up every day and remembering that Ben Johnson is our head coach is like waking up on Christmas morning. Thank you, Ben Johnson. Bear down.
Can I just say how refreshing it is to have a head coach that doesn't play with his food? Just no chance for a comeback, no chance for late heroics for the Saints. Just putting his knee on their neck and going for it on the fourth down and getting the win. Just intelligent choices being made in that regard. Feels that good. It feels good, I think.
Wisconsin Bears fan here. That's another win, 4 in a row. This Bears team's way more fun to watch than they were last year. And Ben Johnson we trust. Hopefully they get one more win, and then my wife lets me buy a new Bears shirt. Let's go Bears, baby.
Hoge Jahns, Bob Dabrowski here, calling in live from a victorious Super Bowl Soldier Field. Bear down, Chicago Bears. We are going to the Super Bowl. Let's go Bears.
Hoge Jahns, you know what I saw out there today? I saw a group of guys who were insulted by trade rumors. A bunch of players coming out showing that we don't need to add anybody. Bear down.
Okay, girls, bring it in. You know what we're going to do. Repeat after me. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till your good gets better. And your better gets best. Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3.
How about that?
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. We got people, Mama Bear singing versions of Bohemian Rhapsody. We got chants at the end. Bob's happy. Everybody's feeling the vibes. The one guy was mad though at Ben Johnson. I think I can picture the play he probably called in after. Probably that end around to DJ Moore that looked a little trickery with them having a lead. And I think it only went for like 5 yards or something.
Wait, there was an end around that went for like 10 yards by DJ Moore.
Yeah, there was one play there I was like, where someone, it might have even been me, was like, God, that looked like the play Lincoln Riley called on Saturday night that he got criticized for. Different situation though. Lay off of Ben Johnson. Come on now.
His team ran for 222 yards.
Yeah. Please don't, and I'm going to probably get in trouble for saying this, please don't do what Cubs fans did all season, whining about a team that won 90 whatever games you guys won. Enjoy the ride. It just have fun along the way. Like, if you want to nitpick that Caleb didn't have a great game, fine. Like, but just, they won 4 in a row. This doesn't happen. If they establish themselves as like a Super Bowl favorite someday, and then they have games where you're like not happy because they didn't beat the Saints by enough, I get it. But they're not there yet. Just like the Cubs weren't there this year. Just enjoy the ride.
Again, they ran for 222 yards. They forced 4 takeaways. They sacked the opposing quarterback 4 times. They were the better team. Didn't look good at all moments, but at the start, at the end, the Bears were good, better, best against the Saints.
Yeah, someone brought it up. The end around the Luther Burden was what I was thinking about. You're right. That one did not work. I guarantee you that's the play that guy called in on. That's fine.
It's the little things. It's always little things that upset people. Me too. I'm the same way.
Crystal says, "Oh my God, I love that. I love that too. That's fantastic. We got to get that. I don't know if we posted the voicemails last week. We should do that this week on social media.
Definitely the ending for sure.
Yeah,
that could go viral.
A
lot of music talent though this week. I really appreciated all the singing. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. A lot better than Carm, our colleague.
Yes, I mean that's a really low bar, but
yeah,
but yeah,
but everybody's hurtling and running.
Yeah. Hey, we probably should have done this earlier in the show, but for those still sticking around, and we appreciate you, you are being rewarded because we have an announcement to make. We've been asked for this for a while. It has admittedly been too many years since we have done a live recording of this podcast, and we are getting back out there pretty much a week from right now. We're trying to sneak this in here before the weather turns because the amazing Chicago Brewhouse on the Riverwalk. And if you haven't been down on the Riverwalk on the Chicago River right downtown, it's fantastic. The city's done a really good job of fixing up the area down by the river. Love going down there. And there's a great place called Chicago Brewhouse on the Riverwalk. And we're going to be there next Tuesday, October 28th. At 6 p.m., it'll be a live recording. What's basically our normal Wednesday show. We're going to do in person in front of you guys. Anyone that comes out next Tuesday night, October 28th, 6 p.m. And we are told that they are prepared. They take Johnsy, they put their they got their patio situated in a way that they stay open to like mid-November, regardless of the weather. So
let's go.
We'll see what the weather looks like. But even if it's a little chilly next Tuesday, they got the heat lamps. They got it covered. It'll be nice and toasty. And even if it is a little chilly, which I don't know at this point, the weather, it looks like it might get back up in the 60s, but it's way too early to know. It'll be football weather. It'll be perfect. So Crystal says she'll be there. Of course she will. That's awesome. And I should also say it's free. I mean, other than, whatever, I'm sure you'll
whatever you buy. Come have a
buy
beer
some
with
beers and stuff. Yeah.
Come have a beer with a couple beer drinking football guys.
Yeah. But there's no ticket cost or anything like that. Just come on out. And we do ask if you don't mind going to our events page at allchgo.com. If you know you're coming, there is a link to RSVP. Katie, if you could put that in the comments or in the description here on the YouTube video, it just helps us with numbers and helps the venue kind of have a rough idea how many people are coming. So if you don't mind RSVPing, we do appreciate it, but it's completely free to come on out. And we're looking forward to being back out. And for our guy, It's Crimson, he says, I'd love to, but it's a 2,000-mile trek for me. You know, John Z, I got big plans. I think we should do a show in London, like over the summer.
London.
Yes. Or the Amalfi Coast, or maybe like Greece. Maybe take this.
I don't know how many fans we have in Greece. What I do know is there's and shout out to the Bears because they had a watch party in London over the weekend, and there were a lot of people there. Charles Tillman was there. But
aren't there rumors about playing in Spain next year?
Yeah, there are, but I want to go to London in the summer when it's summer. So if we could do like a little summer celebration with all these Bears fans, I know they'll come out.
Oh,
we have so many listeners in the UK. They're all commenting right now.
Here we go.
Those are my girls. They love the Bears. We love that.
Keep that. We got to keep that going.
Live from
after
San
every win.
Luis.
Yeah. Okay.
Something to think about.
All right. Fine. We're just doing a European tour.
Yeah, let's go.
We have tons of international listeners. We appreciate all of you. That's one of the cool things about this show. So yeah, look, we'll try to get more of these. I realize that downtown, it's a central place for a lot of people, and then for others, it's very inconvenient at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday to be downtown. I totally understand. So our goal is to do more of these, throughout the year. But right now, it's good to get back out there. We'll see you Tuesday night downtown on the river. Sneak one more little outdoor extravaganza before the weather turns into winter. Good show. Fun times. Appreciate everybody being here. I like that we keep doing Monday shows after victories.
Yeah. There's a lot to like about what the Bears are doing right now.
Yeah.
A lot to like.
Tougher task coming this week. Road trip to Baltimore. Obviously, these things change all the time with injuries, and even with Lamar Jackson probably coming back, that defense has questions. And I can't wait to kind of dive into some of the tape over the next few days and get a sense for how vulnerable they might still be. But you know that's a well-coached team, John Harbaugh, and they probably did exactly what Ben Johnson did over the bye week, which is try to fix their run defense and their issues in the secondary and all these points that they've been giving up since week one. So they're going to have adjustments. This is not going to be an easy game. Think about it like this. I think we all had the Saints down for a win at the start of the season, and we probably all had that Ravens game down as a loss at the start of the season. Okay. We'll see. We'll see, because things change. The Saints are honestly better than I thought they'd be.
And the Ravens are worse.
And the Ravens are worse, but every game's its own entity and thing that week. So it'll be a fun week. We'll be back Wednesday morning episode. We're working on a special guest for Wednesday. I don't know if we got confirmation on that or not. So we'll either way, it'll be a fun episode. And then we'll be back Friday to preview Bears Ravens. Please follow us on social media at Hoge Jahns. Become a diehard at allchgo.com/diehard. We'll have our insider analysis column coming out Wednesday morning as well. And put it on your calendar. Next Tuesday night, Chicago Brewhouse on the Riverwalk, 6 p.m. live recording. Hope to see you out there. Appreciate everybody watching, listening. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe, rate and review the pod on your audio platforms, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.
See ya.